Good evening, everyone. This is Toby Green live from the G51 studios with podcast 10 of the 14 Days in March podcast. This is called A Walk in the Dark. The moon hangs like a sliver in the sky. I have these crazy thoughts, and sometimes I don't know why. Leave it to politicians to haggle like thieves in the night. When a compromise seems so simple, those lost among us could find a way to try. And meanwhile, our president tweets out in verse and rhyme that in 15 days he's going to make a decision, big time. My wife lost her job tonight. Taking care of kids, that was her golden light. So don't suffer me like a fool. Don't take me for granted. I'm playing for keeps this time. Good evening, everyone. This is Toby Green. I like to say my name a lot, so I am in a recording garage, beaming out live to you at the moment. It is a crisp, I think, 37 or 36 degrees. Whatever. It's pretty cold in here. So got my hand warmers. Got everything going. We'll see how it goes. Wanted to get right down to it. So today's date is March 23rd. Thank you, truck. That's very loud. You're ruining my recording. No, you're not. Anyways, it's March 23rd, Monday, March 23rd, here in 2020, in the year of our Lord 2020, if you believe in such things. So what happened today? Well, today's really frustrating because the Democrats and the Republicans are continued at their stalemate. I thought at last night's podcast, I said on the air, I said, look, this stuff's going to turn around. We got this. Like basically you're going to see the stock market shoot up. You're going to see everything change for the better. And not because I actually thought that necessarily those changes are better. Some of them are, some of them are not. But more along the lines that I thought that these changes were necessary for all of us to do a good job or what have you. There's unemployed benefits, and I didn't see the Democrats actually digging in. So it's incredibly weird to me that right now, of all times, I mean, the Democrats didn't fight this hard when it came to the immigration bill. They just basically meekly walked over. I remember Nancy Pelosi going, we need to get immigrants, we need to get them blankets and towels who are being held at the border, and that's what I care about. Well, that's wonderful. And shut the whole facility down. Take a principled stance there. Where was this courage then? When you have people in camps. There's people that are in camps right now as I'm recording this podcast who are on the verge of getting deported. I had to listen to Schumer and Pelosi put forward the worst opinions, awful opinions about immigration. Saying, well, we have a way to do it better. We can do scans. We don't need to put people in camps. Which anytime, for all you politicians out there or anyone who's into politics and you're kind of into it, whenever you say that you can do what the other person's platform better, whenever you make that point, you've already lost. You either do a different vision. These decisions should never be as political people. It should be a fork in the road that's being proposed. But that's not what happened in any sense of the word. Not at all. That was not even close to what has happened here tonight. So now we're getting a political fight. And I'm not even objecting to the Democrats' fight. I'm not even upset about it. They're saying, hey, look, corporations can't just be given pork barrel giveaway profits. Totally get it. But the Republicans and the Democrats are never going to agree on this. There's issues there. So instead of sitting there and tying these two bills together, break them apart. It's not that freaking hard. Break them apart. Give the working people the immediate stuff that they need, and then work on your plan to bail out the corporations. From what I heard, if anything, the House Democrats are wanting more money for it, for working people. But if you can't come to the agreement there, break the bill apart. Help people now, help the small businesses, and then come back and help the corporations. Put the corporations, for once, last in line. There's no need for these bills to be together. The only need is to blunt the benefits for working people. That's the only reason why these bills are together right now. And it really upsets me. There's zero need to have this all together. So I get upset about this stuff, and if you've been listening to the podcast, you know, some of you out there, you know how I'm feeling on this. Working people are hurting. My wife was laid off today. She's scared. She's handling it. She's a champ. She's brave, but she's scared. And we got these people. Nancy Pelosi is worth in the ballpark of anywhere from $15 to $25 million. I have more in common with I just saw a spider run across the floor. I have more in common with that spider than I have with Nancy Pelosi. That spider has no money, and certainly not to the level that Nancy Pelosi does. So I'm being a little bit rotten when I say that, because I'm not, as scary as things are, you know, I'm treated well by my employer, but it's scary. And so for millions around the globe tonight, in America, my wife's no different, there are millions in this country who have been laid off. And it's really, really, really hard for them. And meanwhile, we've got these politicians playing politics at the worst possible time, right when our government needs us. So now what the current thinking is that these politicians are going to wait until Thursday. We're probably not going to we may get something by Friday if we're lucky. We may get we may get something. Don't know. Maybe they'll come around tomorrow and do it. And of course, our good buddies on the stock market, they ended up collapsing, and they went down another 500, 600 points, which is just like par for the course now at this point. Because what they're hoping for and what they're all banking on is they're calling what's a V-shaped recovery. What is a V-shaped recovery, you might add? Well, here's what a V-shaped recovery is. A V-shaped recovery is when things go down very quickly and then bounce back very quickly. These fools, and I do call them fools, they're all thinking that the economy is just going to magically recover. Well, what fueled the economy recovering, folks? Well, I'll make it very clear for you. Stock buybacks fueled the economy going up, 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 up. That's what fueled it. The companies were buying their own stock, and they're artificially inflating their own value. So the stock market went crazy. And they had some additional income, and they might have lent a little bit. And it stabilized the economy to a degree. But the economy is basically built on, at this point, as near as I can tell, is Band-Aids and masking tape. It's nothing. So, anyways, I'm on fire this evening. I want to thank you folks for listening to me on a tirade, because I'm about really to go off here, because there's some straight up BS coming out of Texas. So I'm going to step away for a brief second, drink some water, get myself a little bit settled down, and let's talk about the lieutenant governor of Texas and some of the nonsense that he is saying. So hang around for a second, please. Now, you notice on this podcast, I tend to stay away. I tend to stay away from the Democrat-Republican divide. I try to, because I think that once you say, I'm a Democrat, I'm a Republican, you lose people in the woods. And let's be clear, the Democrats have done plenty of stupid things to rightfully be called out on. I have never seen a political party so inept and so absolutely despair of a lack of vision than the 2020 Democratic Party. I saw what happened with the Bernie Sanders stuff, saw what's happening there, and I bring that up just to say that when I'm about to do here in ripping this lieutenant governor idiot out of Texas, you need to understand that it's coming from a place where even I have my limit of how much BS goes on in the world. Okay, so first of all, let's set this up. There's a question about what needs to happen here, okay? And there are many people who are looking at this, and I have some of these same feelings going, wow, the economy has completely grounded to a stop. A lot of people are going to get hurt way more than people who may actually die from the coronavirus. This is bad news. This is going to hurt people. And when Trump comes out and tweets, the cure could be worse than the disease, it's not a completely crazy off-base opinion. It's actually not. He's saying, look, you got people who are economically being thrown out and destroyed in the name of this coronavirus. Now we have social distancing and everything. Okay, this can't go on forever. There's got to be an end point. There's got to be a point where it's like, look, we got to figure out how to carry on as best as we can. It's a totally legitimate viewpoint. Unfortunately, Trump's a complete jerk, and what he puts forward is really bad stuff. He's not putting forward anything in a helpful or thoughtful manner. He's putting forward it because he represents that ilk of class of really kind of abrasive rich people who are going to lay out their line of what they think is right and fair. And it's going to come off as talking straight, but nobody's necessarily judging the quality of what that goober is saying. So we know that Trump's, going to say stupid stuff. He's going to zigzag all over the place. He's going to go, one moment he's going to go really left and support working people. The next moment he'll go really right. That's what makes him such a terrifying and difficult person to deal with, is that he's going all over the joint. So tonight, though, getting into this, I bring this up to set up that there's somebody that's actually dumber than Trump in terms of, when I mean dumb, I mean put forward something that's so illogical that you just rack your brain around the stupidity. Like it's sort of like saying, wow, I'm going to listen to somebody who is advocating for me to put a fork into an active power outlet. I'm going to listen to them opine to me about what I should do when it comes to electricity and outlets in my home. You're like going, well, no, that's a stupid idea to do that. I wouldn't do that. I don't want to get hurt. That's how I feel when I read some of these tweets. They're illogical. And then you sit there and go, how? Then you start playing like Sherlock Holmes and you start figuring out, how did this person come to this opinion? And then you realize,